How do you receive money? Let's talk about receiving money. And here's a question I have for you. Do you make money from a salary or from a profit? Because this one choice can make all the difference in your financial future, especially if you want to become rich within a year. And here is why. Most people receive money in the form of a salary. So you clock in, work your hours, and get paid at the end of the month. Now, there is nothing wrong with earning a living that way. But have you ever stopped to think about the limits that come with it? It was Jim Rohn who said, was one of the world's most respected business mentors. He said, profits are better than wages. Wages make you a living, profits make you a fortune. So when we rely on a salary, we are essentially putting a cap on how much we can earn, because that salary depends on your hours. When the hours stop, the pay stops. So it's a system that you trade your limited time for limited pay, because you have a maximum of 24 hours a day and you can do nothing about that. So if you're putting in 8 hours, that is the maximum they can pay you for. So let's dig this deeper. If you're working for a salary, I'm talking about, yes, and most of us, this is where we are starting from, but this is not where we are supposed to end. So if we are working for a salary, you are trading your most valuable resource called time for money. And most of us have not come to the realization that time is much more valuable than money. Let me give you a quick example. Let's assume that you had an illness, God forbid, and you're supposed to be alive for 3 days, but there's an antidote. And know that antidote that cures the illness requires all the money that you have in your life. I mean, the question is, are you going to spend your money so that you can be alive? The question is yes, you will spend all your money. Why? Because you know that time is more valuable than money. But let's give this example. Let's assume that someone gives you $1 million and said, here is $1 million, but the deal is you're going to be dead tomorrow. You only have 24 hours. I mean, are you going to take the $1 million? Or they give you $1 million and you die. Are you going to take $1 million? No. You see, so you can see that time is way more valuable, but also it is finite. It is limited, because once time is gone, you can't get it back. For example, again, the example I could give is, most of us, there was a time you had money and then you lost money, then got money back. But how about time? The moment you lose time, you're in the grave, you're gone, you cannot get back time. So time is more valuable than money. So now think about it, that you are getting time, which is way more valuable, and you're trading it with money, which is way less valuable. So if you are being, because here's the other thing to think about. If you are being paid by someone else, it's because they are making much more of your work than what they are paying you for. That is again logical. This means they are pocketing the profit while you are left with the wage. So there is more that they are making from you. That's why they're able to pay you. And what happens when you retire? If you work with this person or for this organization for whole maybe 40 years, after a lifetime of now you trading your hours for a paycheck, many people realize that their income isn't high enough to truly live their dreams. They have spent years working to achieve someone else's goals, not theirs. And when this bitter reality hits, they become disappointed. So here is a treat for you. Because most of us, for us to be able to begin earning profit, we must learn to sell. But a lot of us don't like to sell. We have a negative connotation with selling. But we already sell, we all already sellers. You may not like sales as a concept, but every time, say you go to a job interview, every time you work a shift, you are selling your time and your skills. So if you're already selling something valuable, your time, why not learn how to sell something that can make you more something that builds your wealth rather than someone else, why don't you learn to sell a product? You see, even God himself, for him to come and fulfill his mission on earth, he had to sell. He had to sell. He did not just make and force them and say, you accept me or not. No, he had to sell the idea. And up to now, he set up a system where we are still selling the idea of salvation. So, what is the alternative from the idea of selling salary? Because we need to understand, if you are receiving money from salary only, you are not likely to become rich, not just within a year, though that is our target, but even in a long time. So you have to shift your focus from just wages to profits. Profits come from selling a product or a service, but I will want us to go for a product, because again, if you sell a service, you are still going to tie it to time. For example, let's say you are painting a house, and so you are being paid, say, maybe $10,000 to paint a house, and that painting a house, you can paint it 1 week. So at most in a month, you can make $40,000 because you can paint 4 houses. You can't do much about that. That's the bad thing with service. But unlike service that's attached to time, and unlike job that's attached to time, a product isn't limited by hours in a day. It can work for you around the clock. And here's the best part. Selling product means you are building something you own, something that can grow beyond your daily effort. Let's say you invest in a side hustle, maybe selling a product online. And with time, as demand increases, that product starts to bring in profit. And unlike salary, there's no hard limit on how much you can make. This kind of income can grow with your hard work, even while you're not directly putting in the hours. So my thought to you is this: I'm not just saying there's anything wrong with earning a salary, but if you want financial freedom, you have to start thinking in terms of profits rather than just wages, rather than just salary. When you work on something that's yours, you're working to achieve your dreams. But if you spend your life working for others, you are just helping them achieve theirs. So ask yourself today, what can I do to make profit, not just wages? Whether it's a side hustle, in the form of a product, or something that you can create that will allow you to control your time and build wealth, jump into the process now. Begin thinking about it now. And if you begin thinking that way, there's a lot of products, there's a lot of things that you can do out there, especially with the internet, that can get you to move so fast. So we are discussing how can you become rich within a year, in less than a year. And the secret is focus on profit and not on wages. So thanks for watching. If you're ready to learn more about how to make profits work for you, you need to hit that like button or subscribe. Let's make this journey to financial freedom together. So I will see you in my next video in the same series. Thank you.